Well, hello there and welcome back. So today I'm going to get back into that SELinux machine I created last time. And I have a nice Amazon command line interface, CLI, that I use to show things below. I'll try and put this CLI, the command I use, down below. You can do it, I'm doing it in the Learner Lab, but you can set up the command line interface on any system and run this command or a command like it to spit out information. Okay, so let's get logged into my instance here. Make sure my fingers are on the right area of the keyboard so I can type correctly. So if we look last time, we did quite a bit. We have it, and we set it to enforce. Let's see if it's still enforcing. And it is. So I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to do a history-c. So what that does is it's going to clear my history, so anything that I type in now is going to be the only things that show up. So if I do history, it's going to show blank. Sweet. So that's just, again, show enforcing, because history doesn't, getenforce. Getenforce doesn't change anything. History.c doesn't change anything with SELinux if it's enforcing or not. So let's install a web server. So I can see that if I have one already by doing netstat-tnlp, and I don't see anything listening on port 80 or 443. So if I do sudo yum-y install httpd, and now, if I look to see if anything's running, it's going to be not running. Just because we installed it doesn't mean it's started. So I've installed it, but I haven't started it yet. So I can do systemctl, start httpd.service. Okay, sudo. HTTP is the service I want to run. D, it's the daemon. So daemon is a process that runs in the background. I don't know what it stands for. I've always thought of it as a demon that's lurking in the back doing stuff, but it's a nice one. But it's not a demon, it's a daemon. Slightly different. Okay, so if I look now, I can see right there it's running. In fact, if I do sudo, I'll see there's the process and the program name. Cool. There's a problem. Sudo reboot. If I reboot, unless they fix the install, and I'm not ready to log in yet. When you install something, it doesn't mean it's going to start running by default, because you might not want it running by default. So let's see. It's still not running. So what we need to do is we need to do systemctl enable httpd. Do we need to do .service? I don't think so. Sudo. And it's going to go ahead and create the symlink to tell it to start when the system reboots. So if we look here, it's still not running because we didn't start it. We just told it to start with the restart. So let's do sudo reboot again. We'll clear this. So we installed HTTP. We started it, and then we rebooted. We saw it didn't start. We logged in. We enabled it, and that doesn't start it. But when the system restarts, it should be up and running. So we're gonna get in there. Let's see now if it's up and running. And let's see if it auto started. right there. Sweet. So we have the following commands. We installed it right there. We started it right there. We enabled it right here. Well, we should be saying the sudos. We enabled it so that you can have it restart every time it reboots. So many times when I've tried to fix a system, for whatever reason a system restarts and it doesn't restart properly. As a system administrator, your systems should always start up to where they need to be. I constantly am telling my students, I want you to be able to do this thing called sleep. IT people should like to sleep. So if your system dies in the middle of the night, you don't want to have to be woken up to get it running again. It should just start to a running state. Okay? It shouldn't need you to wake up for it to be working. Now, one of the problems though is this is on port 80. This is HTTP, not HTTPS. We're not going to cover that in this video. Maybe in a future video. I haven't covered it really much. It's some more steps to be able to make it secure. You really shouldn't run web pages that aren't secure in this day and age. So because this is a learning experience, it's okay to leave it here, but in the real world, you should not. It should always be SSL. Let's look at the conf file a little bit. So this should be in fact, let's do sudo vi etc httpd conf, and it should be httpd.conf. Okay. So it's good. Anything that you install, it's good to look at the config files. There's usually a lot more than just one config file, and that is the case with HTTP. We can see there's a listening port here. And there's includes, there's all sorts of stuff here. User group, server admins root. We might want to change that. Directory slash. So all sorts of stuff. Document root, there's lots of stuff here that some of it you might want to change, some of it you might want to leave how it is. Let's change something. I'm going to change, in fact, the log levels, another thing that I often change. So most of these are all set to the defaults right now, okay? And there's a lot. I mean, we're at 88%. So here's the bottom of the page. And it's an include to include a lot more. In fact, let's just see if there's anything in there. I don't think there is. Well, I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked. Quit without saving. Yeah, there's stuff in there. So, and if we cat star, yeah, so there's a decent amount. So, cool. But let's change something. Let's change the port number. So going back to this conf file, if I look for port, is it port? There we go. Ooh, it's listen. Okay, so right here, it's listening on port 80. I'm going to DD to delete that line, come up, and I'm going to hit P to paste it and P to paste it again. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit I to insert, and I'm going to put a pound there so that this is now a comment. In fact, I'm going to shift A, insert, yeah, that's already pound. So pound changed by JLS on, well, yeah, on the 17th November 2025. Okay. It's always good to put comments in so that people know, hey, who changed this when? Might even put why, but we're not going to on this one. And instead of listening on port 80, I'm going to change this to port 22222, 5 twos. Okay. Sweet. So now that I've changed it, is it going to be listening on that port? No. It's still listening on port 80 because we haven't restarted it. So let's do sudo. Let's do this. Before we do this, let's just show grep. And we're going to do C4 context for 22222 of this file. So you can just see that we changed it and saved it. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Grep. That's not what I was expecting. I'm just going to grep just the individual line. There we go. I want to check to see if it's uppercase C. Yeah, uppercase C instead of lower C. So this just gives the 4 lines before and the 4 lines after to give you a little bit of context. Okay. So now let's do systemctl restart httpd.service. And it goes to restart and it says failed. So sudo bang bang. And it's going to restart it and it fails. And it says we can do this for details. So let's just do that. And that says starting the Apache server goes belong exit code status 1. So this is it's executed, so it says there's a failure, unable to open the log, could not bind to address. Okay, so it doesn't like the ports. Okay, let's quit. So it doesn't like the ports. So we broke it. Now, I happen to know that this is SELinux. So if we do sudo setenforce 0 and we try and run it again, sudo netstat-tnlp, it's running. But if I sudo setenforce 1 and I restart it again, it's not. So this is an SELinux related issue. So SELinux doesn't like that we changed it to that port. So this is where we can do audit to allow. I'm going to have it write the things as well. Sudo. Okay. So here it's spitting out the things that it's seen recently in my logs. Audit to allow. So we see the HTTP source 22 is all of these. And it's saying that, hey, if we just ran this right here, it should fix it. If we allow that access. Now, this is one place where audit to allow gives you some information and it's wrong. In fact, it's almost always wrong, but it puts me along the right area. So the problem is the port, and we need to do an semanage. So we're going to do sudo semanage port. We're going to add to the -t. I'm trying to remember how you know it's dash. I'm not awesome with SELinux. I used to always have someone else much smarter than me in SELinux that could do this. Port T, port_t. And we want to add the port, and it's a TCP port of 22222. Okay, so we're going to tell SELinux to allow HTTP port protocols to do TCP port 22222. It's expected to use port 80 and SSL port 443. We're just adding port 22222 to it. So now we can restart. And if we look, it's running. So, sweet. We've done a lot. We installed HTTP. We started HTTP. We told it to auto start. We changed by editing the line in the config file, and we were able to see that line here. And then we broke it by restarting it because it didn't have the ability to use the context. And then we went ahead and we added the ability to use that context. We restarted it and we saw that it's running. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.